NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell forced out after SH claim from CNBC reporter Hadley Gamble. This is Variety. Big news. Another, top executive in this space is being ousted for inappropriate conduct and the like, and it's something that we definitely want to kind of look over. Jeff Shell was forced out as CEO of NBC Universal after an internal investigation into his relationship with Hadley Gamble, an overseas correspondent for CNBC. Two sources confirmed on Variety on Monday. In a securities filing on Monday, Comcast said the company received a complaint of inappropriate conduct, including SH. During the investigation, evidence was uncovered that corroborated the allegations, leading to Shell's termination with cause. So not only did they receive the complaints, they conducted an internal investigation. And when looking into the matter, they had concluded that the claims were actually appropriate. In a statement, Gamble's attorney said that Gamble had lodged a complaint against Shell for SH and discrimination. The investigation into Mr. Shell arose from a complaint by my client of SH and discrimination. Given these circumstances, it is very disappointing that my client's name has been released and her privacy violated. So, it sounds like that wasn't even meant to happen. I'm not sure how this is all playing out here. Normally this stuff is a mess. I've only been through something similar to this like once, and it's impossible to figure out what happened first and what's going on. I mean, it's a crazy mess. Shell apologized Sunday for having an inappropriate relationship with an unnamed company employee. Comcast, the parent company of NBC Universal, and Shell announced in a joint statement that he would be stepping down immediately following the results of an internal investigation. I don't want to take sides, and I don't want to, just automatically assume anything, but, defining something as an inappropriate relationship and then also making the claims of harassment and discrimination on the other side. I mean, those are two vastly different things. And so it's like, hey, buddy, either you're reading this wrong or, obviously there's not much you can say at this point. The chips are out of the bag, so to speak. And so, he's donezo. But, there's nothing we can really say at that point. Essentially they just go on to say that they, got reports that he was engaged in inappropriate conduct with a female employee. And then, they basically begun investigation and hiring an outside firm to conduct an internal investigation. And then once the internal firm or the external firm hired an external firm, to conduct an internal investigation. There we go. Gosh, help me speak. And once they, completed that investigation, they basically found out that the allegations were true. At least what they're saying, they found enough evidence to corroborate that it was. And then they conducted a, exiting of the company. Deadline was the first to identify Gamble as the employee. Shell is married and resides in Beverly Hills. A spokesperson for Shell declined to comment. And then obviously the lady is still working and conducting interviews and the such. And then check this out. I thought this was interesting too. And then we can kind of talk about all this stuff. In August of 2020, so just a few years ago, Shell, who was the guy who was kicked out, was involved in the ouster of Ron Meyer, the vice chairman of NBC Universal, over a brief affair that led to an alleged extortion plot. Dear Lord, these people. Oh my God. And you can't write this stuff, man. In a statement released at the time, Shell said that Meyer had informed the company that he had acted in a manner which we believe is not consistent with our company policies or values. Shell said this and informed the company. How these guys, it's like, dude, you watched this happen. You watched this take place before your very eyes, and you make the same mistake again. There's so much to pull from this thing. Literally, let me just say this on this side, because I don't know what's going on here, and I've been involved in a few situations, and one that was very similar to this, where inappropriate conduct had taken place, and in most of the situations that I've been involved with, so I'm speaking just out of anecdotal, this is just my personal experience. when dealing with a staff member. A lot of times you hear from one side, well, I thought that, we were just joking and we were just friends, and this is what we could, how we could talk to each other, and how, when things we could say to each other. And sometimes you sit there and you're like, how could you be so stupid to think that this is appropriate for you to do? Like, there's no way. But however, what I will say is, no matter who you are, fellas and even ladies, because it happens both ways, and believe it or not, it does. I haven't personally experienced it, but I've heard of it through other friends of mine in the same line of work that I was in at the time. But workplace is not the one. Like, just letting you know, like, you don't, no matter what you're doing, you don't engage in any kind of conversation, especially with, the opposite sex, of, hey, engaging in any kind of like banter or back and forth or any, you just don't do it. You don't do it. You remain professional. It doesn't matter how close you guys get. It doesn't matter if you go out to eat. And I know there's situations and there's things that have changed where occasionally, I'll hear about people, oh yeah, we met at work and we fell in love and now we're married, blah, 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 or, whatever. I say, great for you. You dodged a bullet. That's great. But you are literally rolling the dice. Literally rolling the dice. Look at this dude. Look at her. Come on. So this is just, it's not intelligent ever. It's not intelligent to do this. This is very, very, this is a very, very bad idea. Like, so if you're one of those people that it's like, well, I know them and I've talked to them for you don't even know. And most of the time, I will tell you, just from, having a little bit of experience in this, the person who's receiving the harassment a lot of times will act as though it doesn't bother them. And they'll even claim to your face that it doesn't bother them. But then when you talk to them behind closed doors, or you're in a safe place where they can be open and honest, or by that time the claim is already being filed, they will express that it's always bothered them and it makes them very uncomfortable and they don't know what to do. So, and in that position, I'm not there to judge what's going on. I can only act on the information that's being given. And irregardless, if you feel it's wrong that they don't tell you that it bothers them and they act like it's okay, it doesn't make what you're doing right. And you would not believe how many people you try to explain that to, and it doesn't click for some reason. Just because you feel as though it wasn't a big deal, and they have responded in a way where it wasn't a big deal, doesn't mean it's not a big deal, and doesn't mean you jacked it up. And I've had that conversation multiple times. I've had that conversation in a scary way with leaders of an organization, particularly one leader I'm thinking of, where I legitimately had a conversation with this person who led a very large organization. And I just happened to be working alongside with and friends with, and we had a conversation similar to this because a friend of his was going through this exact same situation almost. I mean, I don't know the details between the two of them. And he was acting as though it's like, well, I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, she was acting comfortable with the harassment and supposed harassment, and it was fine. And then all of a sudden it wasn't fine. And for whatever reason, I have tried 6 ways from Sunday trying to tell this dude like why that was not a good idea no matter what, and why it was a big deal. And it just would not get through his head. I don't understand. But listen, if you're in the workplace or you're conducting business, the answer is no every single time. Do not cross that line. Doesn't matter if they act like it's not a big deal. Do not cross that line. It's a bad idea, and it's wrong. It is wrong for you to do that because it's a professional workplace. You're not there to hit on people. You're not there to, goof off and make friends. Ultimately, you're there to do a job. It's okay to be nice to people. It's okay to have lighthearted conversations. But when you engage in anything further than that, you're really setting. It's not about, hey, this is wrong, stop it. It's about you are setting yourself up for failure. You really are, or potential failure. You're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice, and a lot of times, especially with a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck, you can't afford to roll the dice. You're not going to go drive to Vegas, so don't go to Vegas in the workplace either. I'm just going to leave it at that. So it's the wrong thing to do. And, and the other person who's claiming harassment has every right to come to work and feel safe and not be harassed. And they have every right too, to not have to confront you. That's their workplace. That is their workplace where they come to receive a paycheck. They should not have to come to the workplace and have to make a very uncomfortable confrontational situation that has nothing to do with the reason that they're there. They're being employed for a different reason. They're not there to conduct a seminar on the right types of behavior for their coworkers. That's not what they're there to do. And it is the employer's job, the organization's job, to provide a safe place and to respond swiftly and really harshly to situations like this. I really, really hope that this person can say that the response that she received from the organization was one of care and was one of, what's the word? It was one that made her feel safe in the workplace, and it made her feel like, okay, she was heard, and it wasn't one of like, okay, well, we'll take care of it. Oh, calm down. Like, I really hope that she can say that, because that's what you need to do as an organization. You need to let your staff know that you take it very seriously and that the response is equivalent to the harshness of the situation itself, meaning like you are not going to play games. And when we were in this role, when this stuff would happen, it was not, hey, I'm going to go in and be nice. That's not what I was. When this would happen, I would conduct the conversation with the person, if there was evidence and stuff, and you found out that this was like real, it doesn't matter at that time. We're not friends anymore. We're not buddy. I have to do my job. And it's a crappy situation. It's a crappy situation. No matter how it's a crap sandwich, and no matter which end you eat it at, it's a crap sandwich. I mean, really, at the end of the day. So, I mean, this sucks. It's a horrible thing to happen. I really hope that at least the conduct of the organization was, and how it responded was, enough to make them feel like they took it seriously. It sounds like this is going to continue to unfold. It sounds like there's more things that are going to come out. Maybe, who knows? We're never going to know the full situation. So I'm only just talking from a bird's eye view from a bird's eye view and talking from, personal experience and stuff. But this stuff is never pretty. And I really, really hope that it was done in a way that, the truth was found and everyone felt, well, especially the person receiving the harassment, she felt as though the organization acted swiftly and rightly. So those are my thoughts on it. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. This is always a sticky situation, and there's always so many different people coming from so many different backgrounds and ideas on what's right to do here. And I'm curious to see what you guys think. Comment below. Please like, subscribe. It really, really supports the channel. Thank you guys for all of the help we're getting in that. And I will catch you guys in the next one.